Imagine the Solomon Islands, once dubbed a tropical paradise with its crystal-clear Morovo Lagoon, pristine coral reefs, and islands that retain their rare wildness. On the surface, it's a place everyone wants to visit. But behind that beautiful scenery lies a completely different reality. Villages dependent on supply ships, children forced to leave the islands for school, many communities living in abject poverty, and mysterious rituals hidden behind a veil of culture that outsiders will never know. A land both dazzlingly beautiful and full of the dark side of real life. Let's watch the video to find out if the Solomon Islands is truly a paradise or a place concealing stories not easily seen. Number 1. Solomon Islands on the map and the vast ocean. On a map, the Solomon Islands appears to be just a small chain of islands nestled quietly in the Pacific Ocean. But when viewed from a broader perspective using spatial data, the country's proportions immediately change. Its land area is only about 28,400 square kilometers, while its exclusive economic zone stretches over 1,590,000 square kilometers. This indicates that the majority of the country's living space lies in the ocean rather than on land. The nation comprises approximately 900 islands, of which about 350 are inhabited. The remainder are covered in tropical rainforests, coral reefs, and isolated stretches of coastline, far removed from modern urban life. The population is around 750,000, with over 80% residing in rural areas, where a coastal village sometimes serves as a central hub comparable to a town. The capital city of Honiara is located on Guadalcanal Island and is home to over 90,000 residents, making it the nation's largest administrative and commercial hub. Human habitation traces on the archipelago can be traced back over 3,000 years, linked to the Lapita culture and ancient migration routes of South Pacific inhabitants. In 1568, a Spanish explorer named the archipelago Islas Salomon. In 1893, Britain established a protectorate, and on July 7, 1978, the Solomon Islands gained independence. The remnants of World War II are still clearly visible, particularly on Guadalcanal, where the seabed holds numerous shipwrecks and aircraft wrecks. Today, the area has been documented by archaeological teams and diving communities with over 200 shipwreck sites, creating an underwater museum of exceptional historical and tourist value. The official language is English, but daily life is conducted in Pidgin and over 70 indigenous languages. Each island may possess its own unique history and linguistic system. Religiously, the majority of the population follows Christian denominations, while traditional rituals coexist. Some coastal communities maintain a form of trade and livelihood based on reef fishing, with wooden boats and local trade networks playing a crucial role in community relations. The economy relies heavily on forestry, fisheries, household agriculture, and to some extent, mining. In terms of exports, timber and forestry products have accounted for over 50% of foreign trade value for many years, demonstrating a high degree of dependence on natural resources. The humid tropical climate, high rainfall, and location on the Ring of Fire mean the country frequently faces storms, earthquakes, and climate change. In 2014, a major flood in Honiara forced thousands of residents to evacuate, becoming a concrete example of the archipelago's vulnerability to natural disasters. Therefore, despite its relatively small population, the Solomon Islands possesses a vast maritime space and a much deeper history than what is shown on maps. Number 2. World War II and the lingering legacy of war. The history of the Solomon Islands encompasses many turbulent periods that have had a lasting impact on community life and the social structure we see today. From approximately 1870 to 1904, a large number of the island's inhabitants were recruited to work overseas on sugarcane plantations and farms in the Pacific region. Historical studies record that more than 20,000 people left the Solomon Islands during this period. The shortage of local labor altered the organization of family workforces, agricultural production patterns, and land distribution. In some communities, land occupied by absent male migrants was temporarily transferred to relatives, creating disputes that lasted for generations. During the Pacific War, from 1942 to 1945, parts of the Solomon Islands became a battlefield between military forces. After the war ended, unexploded ordnance, including shipwrecks, bombs, and metal debris, remained in the forests, along the coast and on the seabed. Demining programs were implemented in phases starting in the 1960s, but the large volume of work and the need for specialized equipment meant that progress depended on technical resources. Several international organizations collaborated with local forces to map high-risk areas, with Guadalcanal and the Western Province identified as having the highest concentrations of remaining war materials. In some areas, fishing, farming, and resource extraction activities still had to be carried out with safety precautions. From 1998 to 2003, the Solomon Islands entered a period of internal social conflict, stemming from differing interests among population groups in densely populated areas of the main island. Internal migration increased significantly, forcing many communities to abandon their traditional homes. Urban economies declined, security and order were disrupted, and the administrative system required years to restore stability. During this period, a regional support force was deployed to help re-establish order and restore public institutions, contributing to the stabilization of social life. Today, these historical milestones continue to be discussed in sociological and anthropological studies as important foundations for explaining the current demographic structure, land relations, and livelihood patterns of the Solomon Islands. They not only demonstrate how society adapted after historical upheaval, but also reflect the process of community restructuring over decades of development. Number 3. Honiara and urban economic structure. Honiara is the most important economic center of the Solomon Islands, where trade in goods and services is more concentrated than in other parts of the country. Much of the urban livelihood operates on a small scale, through markets, family-run shops, and self-employed services. Numerous labor surveys indicate that over 60% of those working in Honiara are in the informal sector, with common incomes ranging from approximately $180 to $300 per month. This group constitutes a significant portion of the urban workforce and plays a vital role in sustaining daily economic activity. Meanwhile, a segment of the workforce with professional skills, working in banks, administrative agencies, or commercial enterprises, earns an average income of approximately $500 to $900 per month. The income disparity between these urban labor groups is reflected in the cost of housing and living conditions in various residential areas within the city. In the hillside and low-income areas, typical rent ranges from approximately $120 to $330 per month, depending on location and basic amenities. Areas closer to the city center are generally more expensive and home to a group of workers with stable incomes. Honiara's commerce relies heavily on imported goods. Much of packaged food and essential consumer goods are transported by sea before being distributed to markets. The cost of a basic grocery basket for a family of 4 typically ranges from about $140 to $210 per month. As transportation costs rise, lower-income workers face greater financial pressure, and many families opt for a two-way support model between urban and rural areas, combining cash from the city with food supplies from relatives in the countryside. From an urban economic perspective, Honiara functions as a national trading hub, where different income groups participate in an economic structure based on small-scale transactions, imported goods, and the adaptability of the city's residents' livelihoods. Number 4. Women's role in livelihoods and social risks. In the social structure of the Solomon Islands, women play a vital role in family livelihoods and the community economy, but many facts indicate they also face significant social risks. According to World Health Organization research, approximately 64% of women aged 15 to 49 have experienced physical or sexual violence from a partner or acquaintance. This rate is significantly higher than the global average and ranks among the highest in the Pacific region. This data reflects the vulnerability of women within their family and community environments, particularly in areas with limited legal support and social services. In parallel, the issue of early marriage persists in some localities. UNICEF statistics show that approximately 20% of girls in the Solomon Islands marry before the age of 18. Early marriage often leads to educational disruption, reduced access to skilled employment, and reinforced economic dependence in adulthood. In urban areas, many young women balance family responsibilities with small-scale service jobs, earning between $120 and $220 per month, lower than male workers in more stable employment. In the workplace and public spaces, numerous community surveys also record underreported cases of sexual harassment due to psychological barriers, the cost of accessing services, and limited formal support channels. This results in most incidents being handled at the family or community level, rather than through the legal system and professional counseling. In recent years, the government and development partners have implemented various programs to improve the situation. Several policies focus on strengthening the legal framework for protecting women and children, establishing counseling centers in urban areas, expanding small-scale vocational training, and encouraging women's participation in the skilled workforce. Community communication campaigns on gender-based violence are implemented in schools and local governments. While enforcement capacity still depends on administrative resources, these measures represent a shift from addressing issues at the family level to a more institutionalized support network at the national level. Number 5. The Wontok system and community engagement. In the social structure of the Solomon Islands, Wontok is a concept that extends far beyond the scope of modern administrative institutions. The term originates from the phrase "one talk," referring to people who share a common language, a common ancestry, or close social ties. For many communities, Wontok is not just an extended family, but a network of social obligations where individuals are expected to support each other with tuition, food, housing, transportation costs, and traditional community rituals. In many cases, young children are raised alternately among families within the Wontok network as a way of sharing care and education responsibilities. In both coastal villages and urban areas, Wontok functions as an indigenous social security system. When a member faces hardship, those within the network contribute money or goods as a substitute for formal assistance. Numerous social studies indicate that households in the Solomon Islands rely on Wontok as a crucial source of support in times of job loss, illness, or inter-island relocation. In areas lacking banks and financial services, Wontok also serves as a substitute for credit mechanisms, with people borrowing based on community credibility rather than written contracts. However, Wontok also creates long-term financial obligations. Some workers with stable incomes in urban areas must share a large portion of their earnings with relatives and acquaintances, limiting their ability to save and invest personally. This highlights the difference between the communal family model and the nuclear family model in modern society. Some young people who leave their hometowns for the city find Wontok obligations sometimes stressful, but they also acknowledge that this network is the most reliable social insurance in a context of volatile employment and income. In your opinion, is Wontok a strength of solidarity or an economic burden for individuals? If you had to live in this system, would you be willing to share your income with the Wontok network? Please leave your opinion in the comments below. Number 6. Natural impacts. Earthquakes and coastal erosion. The Solomon Islands are located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where geological activity and sea level fluctuations are frequent. Regional surveys indicate that on some low-lying islands, coastal erosion has resulted in the loss of 2 to 5 meters of land in just a few years, forcing many households to relocate inland. In many coastal communities, saltwater intrusion into freshwater wells forces residents to purchase and store water at an average cost of $25 to $40 per month, a significant portion of their living expenses. On some small atolls, residents also have to transport freshwater from other islands by boat, increasing transportation costs and making them highly dependent on weather conditions. The prolonged monsoon season causes localized flooding and disrupts transportation. In small-scale agricultural areas, each heavy rain can damage 30 to 50% of the vegetable crops, leaving many households without their own food supply and forcing them to buy replacements from the market at double the usual price. When major storms occur, the cost of repairing thatched roofs or wooden walls typically ranges from $150 to $300, while the average cash income of many households is only about $180 to $250 per month. Some families have to postpone repairs and use temporary materials, making their homes more vulnerable to damage in subsequent storm seasons. Livelihoods from the sea are also affected by changing water temperatures. Many fishermen have to go 3 to 6 nautical miles further offshore than before, increasing fuel costs per trip by $5 to $12. With 10 to 15 fishing trips per month, this additional expense becomes a significant burden for households entirely dependent on small-scale fishing. Some communities have turned to supplementary occupations such as vegetable farming, handicraft weaving, or coastal seafood gathering to compensate for the lost income, but these alternative livelihoods are often unstable. In your opinion, given the direct impact of nature on life, What are the biggest advantages of living in the Solomon Islands, and what are the risks faced by the people? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 7. Shell money and traditional social values. In the Solomon Islands, particularly on Malaita Island, shell coins are not only considered a traditional artifact, but also a social value system that runs parallel to the modern monetary economy. Each string of beads is made from thin, polished mother-of-pearl, perforated, strung together into a long chain, and polished entirely by hand. Completing a string can take from 2 to 6 weeks and is usually undertaken by families holding the traditional craft. The value of shell coins lies not in their size or weight, but in their history, prestige, and role in community rituals. In many families, the crafting technique is passed down from mother to daughter as part of their cultural heritage, accompanied by stories associated with each string of shell coins. Shell coins are used in events that are crucial to social relationships, such as weddings, repaying favors, resolving disputes, or affirming the bond between two families. Many sets of rings used in wedding ceremonies have an indirect value ranging from $300 to $600, significantly higher than the average monthly cash income of a rural household. For ancient seashell strings passed down through generations, their symbolic value far exceeds their economic value. Some sets of seashell coins are considered family property, appearing only in important ceremonies and not permitted for public sale. The decision on how to use the seashell coins rests with the clan leader and elders, who both safeguard the artifacts and uphold the community's traditional norms. Families able to donate seashell coins in important ceremonies strengthen their social standing and expand their network, while those less adept may have to borrow or raise funds from various branches of the family. From a socio-economic perspective, shell money is not only a cultural symbol, but also functions as a form of social capital, helping families access support, prestige, and influence within the community. In your opinion, if you had to choose between the prestige associated with tradition and the power of modern cash, which value has a deeper impact on the life of a family in the Solomon Islands? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 8. Power outages and their impact on daily life. On many small islands of the Solomon Islands, the power grid is not always operational, with some places only having electricity for a few hours at night. In the hot, humid tropical climate, with daytime temperatures often ranging from 28 to 32 degrees Celsius and sometimes exceeding 34 degrees Celsius, the lack of electricity directly impacts the health, daily routines, and food preservation capabilities of households. Without reliable refrigerators, fish and fresh food can only be kept for a short time, often having to be consumed or shared with other households within 6 to 12 hours. Island markets become the central hub of life, but their supply depends entirely on supply ships from the main island. When bad weather causes delays of 1 or 2 days, many stalls run out of fresh food, ice, or other necessary items for preservation. On such days, families rely on dry food while waiting for the next ship, a crucial part of the community's daily routine. The lack of stable electricity also leads to a lack of communication. On some islands, phone signals are weak or interrupted for days at a time. When they can't make calls, people write letters, send messages by boat, or ask acquaintances to deliver them to other islands. These letters, folded small and addressed to the recipient, travel on cargo ships and sometimes take days or even weeks to arrive. In urgent situations, entire families have to wait for calm seas or for the ship to dock before they can communicate. In this context, life on small islands is not only characterized by a lack of electricity and food storage, but also by a lack of reliable communication, where a seemingly simple phone call is replaced by a handwritten letter and a long wait. In your opinion, what most significantly impacts the lives of the people in such an environment? The hot and humid temperatures, the inability to preserve food, or the constant waiting for communication via each ship? Number 9. Erosion, freshwater, and the economic burden. On some of the low-lying islands of the Solomon Islands, coastal erosion is no longer a seasonal event, but a yearly displacement of living space. Some communities lose 3 to 7 meters of land within a decade, forcing 15 to 30 households to relocate from their homes. The cost of building a new house on higher ground typically ranges from $1,500 to $2,500, including timber, corrugated iron, cement, and transporting materials by boat. For households with cash incomes below $250 per month, relocation means a prolonged debt burden or borrowing from relatives in the community. After leaving the coastal area, many families completely lose access to natural wells and become dependent on rainwater harvesting. A 3,000-liter cement water tank costs an average of $480 to $550, while a simple water filtration system for a family of 5 costs an additional $60 to $90 per year. During the consecutive dry season of 2 to 3 months, water reserves can drop to less than half, forcing households to buy water transported from the central island at a cost of about $20 to $35 per trip, equivalent to nearly a week's worth of food for a working family. The economic life depends entirely on the weekly supply ships that arrive at the island market. When rough seas cause delays of 24 to 48 hours, the prices of rice, flour, and cooking oil can increase by 15 to 25%, and fresh food almost disappears from the shelves. Some households have to cut back on meals or switch to self-harvested food, while fuel and transportation costs remain high. In your opinion, given the challenges of having to leave their old homes, lacking a reliable rainwater supply, and being completely dependent on supply ships, what is the biggest challenge facing a small island community in the Solomon Islands? Number 10. Untouched nature and outstanding tourist attractions. The Solomon Islands boast many pristine natural tourist destinations. Most notably, Morovo Lagoon in the Western Province is one of the world's largest coral lagoons. Its crystal-clear waters offer visibility of 20 to 30 meters underwater, and the coral reefs stretch across smaller islands such as Uepi, Sege, and Gatokai. In this area, diving expeditions have yielded hundreds of species of reef fish, blue starfish, parrotfish, and multi-layered coral formations that retain their natural structure. This is an ideal destination for snorkeling and exploring the tropical marine ecosystem. Not far away is Gizo Island, where visitors can take a boat trip to Kennedy Island, a small island historically significant during World War II. Gizo is also a starting point for diving trips to Nauru Island and the surrounding reef area, where marine life is densely concentrated around the reef edges and rocky shoals. On Guadalcanal Island, the mainland offers a unique experience with Matanico Falls and Tanaru Falls, where water flows through equatorial rainforest and natural limestone caves. Short trekking routes around Mount Austin and the Central Highlands allow visitors to observe forest vegetation, native bird species, and views down to the coastal plains. To the southeast, Rennell Island and Lake Tagano are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, thanks to their unique saltwater lake ecosystem formed within ancient coral islands. This area is notable for its limestone shores, low forests, and endemic bird species, making it suitable for nature observation and small-scale ecotourism. Thanks to the combination of blue seas, rainforests, waterfalls, and coral heritage, the Solomon Islands offer a rich and immersive nature travel experience, where each location holds its own distinct Pacific Island landscape. If you had to choose one destination to experience first in the Solomon Islands, would you choose Morovo Lagoon, Gizo Island, or the waterfalls and rainforests of Guadalcanal? Number 11. Local cuisine connected to the sea and the forest. The cuisine of the Solomon Islands clearly reflects the close relationship between the islanders and their natural environment. The main food sources come from the sea, forests, and family gardens, resulting in simple yet flavorful local dishes. Fresh fish is central to daily meals. Fish such as tuna, mackerel, barramundi, and reef fish are often cleaned and grilled directly over coconut charcoal, served with sea salt, wild lime juice, and fresh chilies. Many families prepare dinner this way on their sandy patios or in outdoor kitchens to preserve the fish's natural flavor. In some coastal areas, fish are preserved by air drying or light smoking for use during long sea voyages. Besides fish, wild and garden vegetables play a vital role in family meals. Vegetables like taro leaf, slippery cabbage, young papaya leaves, or banana blossoms are often cooked with coconut milk or stewed with fish, creating a distinctive soup characteristic of the local cuisine. Taro, cassava, and green bananas are used as a substitute for rice in many meals, reflecting the island community's long-standing tradition of cultivating root vegetables. Many families also maintain small plots of land near their homes to self-supply their daily vegetables, reducing their dependence on food transported from afar. An iconic dish of the local culinary culture is umu, Ingredients are wrapped in banana leaves, placed on hot stones, and covered with leaves or earth to cook using the accumulated heat. Chicken, fish, cassava, and bananas are often cooked together in the same batch, creating a blend of smoky, leafy, and hot stone flavors. This dish is often featured in festivals, community gatherings, and family reunions. On many islands, preparing umu is also a collective ritual, with men in charge of lighting the fire and placing the stones, while women prepare the ingredients and wrap the food. In coastal towns like Honiara, Gizo, and Auki, morning markets offer fresh fish, shellfish, stone crabs, garden vegetables, and fresh coconuts, demonstrating that local cuisine is more closely tied to fresh produce than industrially packaged goods. Some stalls also sell coconut cakes, grilled plantains, and charcoal-grilled cassava, popular snacks in daily life. The rhythm of eating is therefore natural and seasonal, reflecting the islanders' close connection with the environment and their slow pace of life. Number 12. Traditional festivals and rituals on the islands. Festivals in the Solomon Islands are not merely cultural events, but also occasions for communities to gather, affirm their identity, and relive traditional memories. Among them, the Solomon Islands Arts Festival is the most prominent, held regularly in the capital, Honiara, and bringing together performing arts groups from various island provinces such as Malaita, Western, Makira, and Isabel. During the performances, the rhythmic strumming of the slit drum, combined with warrior dances, costumes made of seashells and forest flowers, tells stories of ancestors, the sea, and the ancient migrations of the islanders. Some performances are even staged as storytelling through dance, where elders lead and explain the meaning to the younger generation. On Malaita Island, many villages still maintain traditional festivals of the Kwayo and Kwarai communities. Residents gather in the village square to perform circle dances, sing call and response songs, and play indigenous musical instruments. Dancers wear rings of seashells, feathers, and natural paints on their bodies, with each movement reflecting the hierarchy, roles, and relationships between clans. These rituals often last for days, accompanied by the sharing of food, grilled fish, and umu cooked in an earthen pit, expressing the spirit of family and community solidarity. On some occasions, families from afar bring gifts of agricultural products or seafood to offer during the ceremony, as a way to strengthen ties between groups in the village. In Rennell and Bologna, the festivals have a more solemn character, associated with sacred spaces and traditional songs preserved through oral tradition. On the western coastal islands, many small seasonal fishing or harvest events are held in the village square, where children, youth, and elders dance and sing together, transforming the shared space into a community stage. These festivals also serve as opportunities for migrant workers to return home, creating intergenerational reunions. Today, many festivals combine indigenous traditions with modern art, with folk music sharing the stage with contemporary performances. While evolving over time, the common thread among festivals in the Solomon Islands remains the spirit of community, cultural pride, and the strong connection between people and the sea, forests, and ancestral memories. Number 13. Discrete rituals and family traditions. In many traditional island communities of the Solomon Islands, rituals are still practiced only within the family and passed down through oral tradition. In the mountainous regions of Guadalcanal and Malaita, people maintain sacred forest spaces that outsiders are not allowed to enter. Before important events such as childbirth, weddings, or the start of the fishing season, family representatives bring offerings of leaves, seashells, and simple food to place at the base of an ancient tree, then recite prayers in a ritual language understood only by the elders. Without spectators or performances, the ritual takes place in the silence of the forest and is seen as a bridge between ancestors and present life. In some communities, the location of the sacred tree is considered a landmark linking the family's ancestry, and only members of a specific bloodline are allowed to approach the area. In some communities in the Western and Isabel provinces, the coming-of-age ritual for young men is conducted discreetly. For a certain period, boys are separated from the daily life of the village and live in a separate area under the guidance of the clan leader. There, they learn ancient songs, methods of memorizing genealogies, community etiquette, and responsibilities to their families. Only after completing this series of oral rituals are they allowed to participate in important community meetings. Some groups also incorporate training in forest skills, fishing, and resource sharing, considering these as integral parts of the coming-of-age process. Another lesser-known ritual is the naming ceremony, a ceremonial name given to the clan leader when an elder assumes a new role. This ceremonial name is not used in daily life, but is only mentioned on rare occasions associated with community rituals. Remembering names signifies the preservation of family history and marks the succession of leadership positions between generations. In some places, pseudonyms are also associated with place names, events, or symbols characteristic of the community, helping to link the leader with the collective memory of the entire lineage. Due to their sacred and private nature, many such rituals are not performed for tourists or publicly filmed. They continue to exist within the internal space of each community as part of the spiritual life preserved through tradition and collective memory. This secrecy makes the rituals a less visible cultural layer, yet they play a crucial role in maintaining the identity of the island community. Number 14. Cost of living in Solomon Island. The Solomon Islands are not a mainstream tourist destination, so travel and living costs are generally higher than in many other countries in the South Pacific. Most visitors have to fly via Fiji, Papua New Guinea, or Australia before reaching the capital, Honiara. Round-trip international airfare typically ranges from $900 to $2,500 depending on the time of year and departure point. Once on the islands, transportation between them depends on domestic flights or ferries, with flights usually costing between $120 and $250, and boat rentals ranging from $40 to $100 for short trips. Regarding accommodation, the hotel options are not very diverse. In Honiara, standard hotel rooms average between $90 and $160 per night. Coastal resorts and accommodations catering to divers can be more expensive, ranging from $180 to $250 per room. On smaller islands, community homestays are more common, offering more affordable options from $35 to $70 per night, but with basic amenities and a heavy reliance on local electricity, water, and food. Food costs are primarily based on fresh produce. A simple meal at a market or homestay typically costs between $5 and $10, while a meal at a restaurant catering to international tourists can range from $15 to $30 per serving. Imported items such as canned goods, soft drinks, or sweets are often more expensive than the regional average, sometimes costing $20 to $40 more for a small food basket than in neighboring countries. Sightseeing and marine experiences are also significant cost components. Scuba diving tours typically cost between $90 and $180 per day, while boat tours to explore the islands or visit World War II sites can range from $120 to $300 depending on distance and weather. Overall, tourism in the Solomon Islands is suitable for travelers willing to spend more in exchange for unspoiled natural surroundings, a slower pace of life, and a cultural experience that remains largely unspoiled by commercialization. Number 15. Notes for tourists. When visiting the Solomon Islands, it's important to note that this destination focuses more on experiencing nature and local life than mass tourism. Many islands maintain traditional lifestyles, so services and infrastructure vary from area to area. Before traveling to smaller islands, check ferry and domestic flight schedules, as weather can directly affect transportation. In some cases, trips may be delayed, and travelers should be prepared for flexibility in terms of travel time. The climate is humid tropical, with heavy seasonal rainfall. Travelers should pack light, breathable clothing, a thin raincoat, insect repellent, and sunscreen. In many rural areas, mosquito nets and personal first aid supplies are essential as medical services are not always nearby. Some islands only have electricity during certain hours of the day, so backup batteries and extra charging devices are useful. Cultural life in the Solomon Islands is deeply intertwined with community and tradition. When visiting local villages, visitors should ask permission before taking photos of people or living spaces and respect sacred forests, ceremonial areas, and spaces not intended for outsiders. Dressing respectfully at places of worship or community events is highly valued. Bottled water remains a safe option for most trips. When participating in water activities such as snorkeling or kayaking, visitors should follow the guidance of locals as currents and wave conditions vary seasonally. Carrying cash is essential, as many small shops and homestays do not accept card payments. Another small note: internet speeds in many rural areas are quite slow, so visitors should not rely entirely on online connections for work or communication. Additionally, plastic waste is restricted on some islands, so bringing your own water bottle and reusable bag will make your trip more environmentally friendly. Overall, the Solomon Islands is suitable for travelers who love exploration, are willing to adapt to the natural conditions, and value the local culture experience more than modern tourist amenities. And that concludes our exploration of Solomon Island. What do you think of the customs and life here? Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this content. Don't forget to like it, as that really helps the channel grow and bring you more amazing videos like this. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on notifications because there are always new destinations to discover and amazing stories to tell. See you in the next video.